Greetings and welcome to Talk Point again on Lagos Television, and thank you for joining us again on this edition. My name is Omololu Rosanwo. We'll be looking at family values and morality in Nigeria and of course in the society. The crave for westernization over the years has actually created some kind of problems reducing family values in Nigeria. If we look back to the year 2000, there were still family values because of despite the internet situation that came into Nigeria, there were still family values, but all the same things were not as expected of every personnel or everyone in the system. The crave for that westernization has also created problem and has also increased the divorce rates in the country, and that has been an issue that is so worrisome that we'll be talking about today. I have a guest in the studio that will be talking on family values and the value system, and we'll be doing justice to that. I want to welcome Mr. Temilade Oladele, the president of the Institute of Marriage Administrators and Counselors, and also a family coach. Nice to have you, sir.
How are you? Is it Happy New Year?
Yes, you can say Happy New Year.
Okay, that's
this
good.
year. Yes, the topic today is very apt because of the situation of the country, and we know that gradually the youths and even the adults, some of the adults are gradually not accepting or not doing what is expected of them in the society. Immorality rate is dropping, is on the increase rather, and morality rate is dropping. Now, let's quickly ask you first, what do you mean? What do we mean when we say family values? Let's understand what family values are before we can now situate it to some of the things that we're going to discuss.
Oh, thank you very much. When we say family value, it simply means a platform, a forum, a gathering together of a unit, that is a family, the father, the mother, the children, even could be to the extent the family, whereby they can learn our culture, our ethics, like you just mentioned moral, where moral values can also be, inculcated, whereby people can know that it is a value to respect one another, it is a value to associate with one another, to relate with one another, to honor one another, to share things in common, and in fact to build a more frontier relationship whereby we can be interconnected, whereby we can do things together in common, whereby we can share things together with the aim of building a better family for a greater society.
Yes, can we situate it to, relating it to values, because the family as an entity, then the value system. Mm-hmm. Now, are they kind of interwoven? And if they are not interwoven, how can they complement each other?
In fact, they are actually interwoven, because the family value is the foundation upon which a society is built. Because the way people behave, it is at the family level that will be able to learn how to relate with one another. Whatever you are inculcated with at the family level is what you also produce or project to the wider society. So some of the things we see people do in the way they behave, in their attitude, in their interaction, they are mostly products of the family where they are coming out. So if the family where one is coming out is a positive-oriented a family whereby they believe in making things work, they believe in integrity, they believe in dignity, they believe in discipline, they believe in morality, it will show at the larger society, and even at the nation, and even the world at large. In fact, it is the family value that shapes the behavior, the attitude, and the way of life of every individual. It starts from the family.
So how come the family value system is nosediving? Because what could be the factors, or what are the things that you may consider responsible for some of these things? Because we keep having drop in respect, drop in the way we dress, drop in the way we address people. So what are the issues that are creating this?
Just like at your introductory level, talking about westernization, it has actually affected our cultural, our family value. But when we are even talking about this family value, we mean our culture, our custom, our tradition. What do we believe to be recognized with, our identity? But we are now, we in the present age, we copy the Western culture and ignore our own culture, which are so rich, so articulate, and in fact, so progressive. For example now, let me pick as a Yoruba man. Greeting, for example, I can say it's our culture, it's our way of life. When you see an elderly person, you greet. When even elders also they acknowledge the greeting of the way we respond, the way we speak, in our own culture, in our own heritage. Let me say cultural heritage. They are so rich, but we have ignored all those things. In fact, they are saving our cultural heritage now. They are becoming untransferable. Because some our elders, those who were there before us, they transferred to us. But in our age now, I doubt if we are transferring, these are cultural heritage to the generation or to those who are following us. So that means we are already killing our cultural value, our family value from time to time. I could still remember, if you are going out in our family for maybe football match, the family elder will tell us, please don't spoil my family name, our family name. Don't do this. They will tell us what the society expects or what the community expects from the family and what they have known the family for. So they did not give room for any child now to come and now run down the value of the family. So they kept on ringing into our ears. But in our days of individual tendencies, I alone, we no longer have that kind of interaction. In fact, we have gotten to a point, even when somebody is trying to socialize, to come and relate, we see it as prognosing to another person's affair, whereas it's not supposed to be. So our family value enables us to be able to relate with the aim of having a harmonious togetherness, with the aim of having a societal development, with the aim of having development within ourselves. And the moment you see, when we trace things back to maybe our age, our beginning, even though I'm still a young man, our beginning, there are things when they mention Oladile family, immediately some values come to mind of people. That particular place where you are going, you are likely to meet this. Are you going to meet respect there? Are you going to meet discipline? Are you going to meet empathy, compassion? Those. So whereas there are also some families, is the negative, and they don't allow, a law will not allow their children to be associated with any family with negativity. And that attitude of the common society, ignoring a particular negative molded family, also shaping them that people are not appreciating these their ways of life, this their belief, this their tradition, and gradually they keep changing. But in our time now, everything has declined. Let me just put it that way. In fact, ask our children now, what do they even mean by family value? In fact, there are so many. Even parents, do we even have time for the children to tell them that this is, in this family, this is our culture, this is what we want people to know us for? I could remember gathering my children together, I told them, This is our core value in this family. Anywhere you go to, this core value must be ringing bell in you. We call it Oladele family core values. That is, when we go out, what people should see in us, what people should recognize us for. And I want to say maybe here, one of such things is, to have passion for others. Respect the dignity of everybody. Don't look down on anyone.
I need to ask you this. Yes. Are we not failing in our responsibilities? Because why I'm asking this is because the older generations seem to be looking away on the younger generations, their attitude and things like that. Take, for instance, now, the Gen Zs, they hardly want to listen to you because of internet. They have so much they're doing. They want to achieve so many things. They can even talk at you anyhow, even through the internet. Are we not failing in those responsibilities? Are we not supposed to have been telling them this is wrong, this is right, these are the things you should do? You don't talk to your elders like this. Those are we not failing in those responsibilities?
In fact, permit me to use the word, we are failed woefully in that direction. Because a situation whereby a father or a mother cannot talk straight to the child, you now begin to, how will she react? And in fact, the kind of motivational talk with which we have run down the life of the destiny of these children, the younger generation, God will show mercy. Because we are to let them know that this is what discipline means. This is how you talk to somebody. In fact, you start from how do you talk to an elderly person, how do you talk to your colleague, how do you, relate, that's relationship now. How do you relate with the younger one? How do you go along with people? So, but this thing, do we even have time? A child that even could hardly see the parent in a week, because of pursuit of all these mundane things, because of pursuit of wealth, I want to have this, I want to have that, at the same time, we have no time for these children. So, and with the internet kind of thing now, the internet has taken the space of the parenting. So the children, now by the time we are now, maybe if there's any of us that we're now coming back, we want to say, okay, let's try and instill this, the family value, our culture, our tradition, our belief on these children. They have already gone viral. They have already gone out of hand. That a situation you are talking to your child is already busy with the phone, pressing this, and you have to touch the child. I am talking to, So these are issues. And why? Because, in fact, what majority of what we are doing now is that we are trying to bend a dry fish. Because they are already used to the internet. Many of them, they are made internet, they are parenting. The forum where they can be parented. They already have internet parent, internet godfather, and the rest. So whatever you are telling them, it doesn't really giving them any form of deliverable. It's as if, the life is already, whereas they ought to have learned this thing from the beginning, catch them young.
Yes, let me come to that, since you mentioned that, because I was going to ask you that question before. Now, why is it that when children are corrected in schools these days, the parents are usually annoyed? Unlike what happened in the past, when your child does something wrong, your neighbor can correct, the teacher can correct, and nobody will say anything. Why is it that people now tend to correct people, and when they kind of trying to correct them and flog them somehow, they take it negative? How can we solve those issues?
Well, let me use the word ego. That ego, I want to give it a meaning. Edge God out. That is, we have edged God out of our way of life.
That's your own meaning of
my
ego.
own meaning of ego. Ego is when somebody is. But if a teacher has to scold a child or a pupil or a student, whatever, in school, and not knowing that this teacher, they are there to add value to the life of this child, and you are now annoyed because of maybe whatever you think you are, the status you think you have maintained, or you are saying the suffering that I suffer, I don't want my children to suffer this. Is it in the area of adding value to the children? So the issue now is that parents that are always there, scolding people are supposed to join him or her to mold the life, to shape the life of these children. They are destroying their tomorrow. And that is what is rampant now. Because most of these children, they believe if anybody talk to them, the father is there, the mother is there to go and do justice. So I want to advise the parents over there. We are already fighting God. Maybe let me please put maybe this minute now, maybe as a man of God now that the word of God made it clear to us. It's saying, I know, God said, I know Abraham will put his children in the right way, in the way of the Lord. Are we putting our children in the right way? Most of these children don't even know where they are found. I mean, they don't even know their foundation. They don't know their villages. They don't know their town. No matter, they don't know what they do. They don't even socialize with their community. And the funniest thing is, by the time, because of this hopeless kind of thing, the funniest thing now, maybe tomorrow, we go raise that child that didn't even know the road to the village to now go and be the counselor, go and be the, because you think you have that influence. What would they deliver? A community they never served before.
Now, yes, that also brings me to another issue of morality, and that has to do with obscene way of dressing. Because if you know that you're not supposed to dress inappropriately and you do that, you will be scolded. I saw some videos sometime where a lady in her 30s wore something very obscene, and I think it was somewhere in the eastern part of the Delta, to be precise. There's this guy that will, because he does the content and sends it out, he will tell them, this what you're putting on is wrong. Go and change. He will start to drag the lady, and people will join. And they will say, you two, you have done something wrong. Go and change, go and change, go and change. That, I'm only saying it because at the end of that video, the lady realized that what she did or what she was doing was wrong. And in the end of the day, she succumbed. And she agreed, and everybody said they don't dress like that again, and they won't give her some money to go and buy clothes to change. Now, in situations like that, are we looking at how we can change the situation so that morality can come in and replace immorality?
Yeah, that is good. You see, everybody has to have a change of mind. Our mindset that have been coined, that have been caged towards westernization in the area of that dressing too, we have to begin to inculcate our own tradition. I could still remember, for example, a lady. It used to be so hard for anybody to see the edge of a woman's underwear, that is consent, that you wear a cloth and another person will see that the strip of the brassiere or something, brassiere, to come out. That another person will see, it was being seen as an abomination in the 70s, in the 60s, even up to the 90s. But today now, some of them, they even wear it alone. And they oh God. So I think we need to change a lot of things. And it has to start maybe from government too. Maybe there should be a kind of policy that will show that if you wear this thing, then let the government download the operation of it down to even CDA, that's Community Development Association, that in a particular community, if this kind of indecency is noticed, there should be a group of people that will take to caution. And I want to believe, if our value, like our family value, so rich. I still remember, I think I've mentioned it here before, if a child misbehaves in a particular compound, as they are scolding the child, or you are prostrate or kneel down, they will also call the father or the mother to be there to see what the child has done. In fact, the father will already be trembling before getting to the community leader, because you know that is a discredit. And that brings his integrity or integrity down. And for that reason, they will already be pleading ahead of time, and that child, the way the father will scold the child. And permit me to quickly include this. There's what some people, there are some things parents might have injected into the children which will be for them for life. And I've mentioned it. This issue of abstinence. Some people used to say, Pastor, you are not, when I was in the workplace, they would say, but you are not in the church, you are not this, you are not that. But they do know that there is a kind of mentality that my grandmother instilled in me that up to today, anything taking another person or stealing cannot be found around my territory. How? I had a friend. And the friend had a stepmother, and they were doing this community contribution. And the woman was the treasurer of that group. So this, my friend, knew where the mama used to put their weekly contribution somewhere on the roof. So the mama went out, and my friend called me. I said, we can go on. Those are the days of geisha and all of these things that time. So we climbed the roof, set this thing, and pick money. And we bought geisha. We took a bicycle and rode it for almost a whole day. But by the time,
what was the consequence? Because
the consequence was that when my aged mother heard of it, she said, it is better you died than to live and give this family a disgrace. She now went to grind pepper. Now heard me well, put it on my eyes, put it in the... I'm not saying somebody should, but that mentality, that scream, each time you are talking of taking somebody's thing, it used to reflect.
Yes, I understand what you're saying. What you're saying is that you don't take what doesn't belong to you.
In fact,
that is an abomination. You don't steal. You don't dress immoral dressing. You don't do things that will tarnish the image of your family or the society. Yes, so the long and short of it is that you must always behave right and do what is good. Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Temilade Oladele, for being part of Talk Point again on Lagos Television.
Thank you very much.
Yes, on that note, we have come to the end of Talk Point. 767 and 112 are still the lines to always call in times of emergency. Stay out of trouble. Ensure that you do what is right to ensure that Lagos and indeed Nigeria gets better. I am Omololu Rosanwo. See you some other time.